The university dorm life, arguably the most entertaining part of the college experience. Weird roommates, strange interactions, and exciting group events. It's a welcome distraction from the impending doom that is stressful exams and adult responsibilities. But that's not the biggest concern right now, as our hormone-crazed main character Kazuki Oribe is in either the most luckiest position of his life or the most unfortunate moment of his survival, being the only male in an all-female dorm. Hi, my name is August, and welcome to the August Tale, brought by the developers who gave you Furaraba and Making Lovers. In this visual novel, we are going to see all of the crazy, weird, and absurd adventures from living the university party dorm experience. Only with way more anime girls with attitude in this co-ed household. And maybe, just maybe, our main character will be able to find some sugar sweet love in his young adult years. Sugar Style is created by the developers at SME. If you've read a SME title before, like Furaraba or Making Lovers, welcome back to the wacky, off-the-wall, absurdist comedy. And if this is your first time, well, I hope you can keep up. Detachable dick jokes and all.
取り外し可能よ。ダメです。おちんちん返してください。
SME's outrageous comedy is a very specific taste, filled with fast manzai banter, exaggerated expressions, overly dramatic sound effects, and all the immature humor packed into one. I can already tell you that if these type of frantic, ridiculous scenarios aren't your thing, you won't enjoy your stay here. And if heavy-handed, perverted anime hijinks like falling into a valley of badonkers turn you off, this one might be a pass. But there's a sense of bravery and confidence with the way Sugar Style is able to whip out dick jokes like an edgy, sex-crazed college freshman. It has this crazy sense of execution that turns its idiocy dial up to a 15 and does not hold back on how unfathomably stupid it can get. And that's its major appeal. Sugar Style relishes in the spotlight in its immature and free-spirited nature, which had me chuckling a good amount of the time. Now, living with roommates can be an exciting experience, but also a stressful one. Source: me who's lived in an 8-person dorm suite. One of the most important facets of being a good roommate is to not be an incapable scumbag, which can be achieved by basic human decency, like taking out the trash or cleaning the dishes. Emulating this energy, Sugar Style expects the main character to pick up his own slack by presenting a choice between 4 occupational options. You can be a house husband, providing hospitality by cooking and cleaning around the house. You can be a faithful bodyguard, taking the girls home from school, protecting them against the worst deplorable insects, ungrateful simps. You can act as a strong, reliable handyman carpenter.
Ma'am, I do my own plumbing.
Or you can be the party entertainment, pulling out the acoustic guitar to pick up all the girls in the yard. Quote,
I will now be playing Wonderwall.
Each respective job has its own special scenarios with the dorm girls, before leading into the chosen heroine route. Also, another good thing to note is that the occupational events has no effect on the chosen heroine routes, so you are free to choose whatever you like to spice up your reading. Now, what's different about this visual novel is that the common route, the occupational events, and the chosen heroine route are all combined together. While this format separation does break up the monotony, it does get cumbersome having to skip through previously read sections. And its format breaks the flow when dedicating time to the chosen heroine. The story does eventually focus on the chosen heroine, you just gotta get through all of the rough first impressions. First off on our list of heroines, we have Mao, a type of endearing kohai that makes you want to adopt and protect her, cardboard box included. If you're weak to cute anime girls saying
じゃあ先輩。
in an adoring, charming voice, this one's for you. Mao's cheeky interactions make her an equal bantering partner to our main character, with no hesitation to fire off lots of right off the bat. This short stack is very much a handful, but it's that childish side of her that makes her so adorable and easy to tease. Her clenching, desperate sprites and prideful poses makes it even more apparent. Now, despite Mao's childish side, there's a much more compassionate side to her, stemming from her career choice of taking care of tiny human beings. It's quite the change from her horribly disgusted scorn to her affectionate, loving attitude. It's that same change that becomes abundantly shown as their relationship develops, making Mao quite the effective doting kohai, sibling roleplay included.
今日一日、マオのお兄ちゃんになって。うわ、キモ。普通に引く。想像を絶する気持ち悪さだ。
Next we have Hare, which was a terrible uphill battle from the start. Now if you can get past all of the screaming and perverted moments, probably the worst part of Sugar Style, you'll get a surprisingly sweet romantic side to Hare. Haru appears as this sporty, casual girl, but the subtle cracks in Haru's demeanor shows a much more sensitive girl inside. Her considerate attitude might pass for anyone, but for a certain somebody who was observing her for less than ethical reasons, that very same person caught on to her flaws and her virtue. The exploration into her sensitive side goes into her female insecurities, expectations about career choices, and other conflicts. It's a combination of heavy baggage that has her chained down, making her into the emotionally delicate person that she is. But through a slow rebuilding of her character and trust in her man, she's able to overcome her troubles. Once their relationship begins, it's a non-stop lovey-dovey flirt session between the two, turning Haru's mindset from he's a hopeless pervert to he's my hopeless pervert. It's a welcome change, one that had me riding on that love and sweetness adrenaline with all of Haru's affectionate blushes and subtle giggles. Now, we wouldn't have a functioning dorm without someone being the responsible one of the group. And for reference, I'm not talking about the actual dorm mother. That one's a bit busy, drowning herself in beer.
すみません、私です。
Ichika is the kind and calm one of the cast, wholly responsible for keeping her fellow roommates well fed and somewhat well behaved. Makes sense that she's the most reasonable one out of the group, serving up some deadpan comebacks when needed. Ichika is a top tier household woman that any man will fall head over heels for, baking bread for her future beloved, bringing home the bread. While basically starting from almost nothing, the two's romantic development is consistently smooth, and once our main character is victorious in his pursuit, we are treated to some wholesome loving. Ichika is very much willing to spoil the main character on practically every level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, while also being an idealistic romantic as extra sweetener. She's very much suited for the role of a mother, even going the extra mile in more ways than one. After all, happy wife, happy life, and conversely, you absolutely do not want to mess with an SO who fully controls your eating habits.
白身の方が栄養あるんだよ。
And last but not least, we have Kaname, an elegant and mature woman, or at least that's what this frightful monster looks like on the surface. Her refined appearance makes her the target of everyone's affection and admiration, but her actual personality reflects a prankster devil that enjoys tormenting people. You thought the main character was a teasing specialist, but Kaname takes his retorts and absolutely obliterates him. Combine that with her condescending and prideful attitude, and you have a sadistic troll that drags everyone around to her whims. Much like her older senpai status, this Ice Queen is on another level of her own. Being in a relationship doesn't help either. In fact, it doubles her mischief. Her affectionate moments blurs the lines between being a shameless, selfish flirt or being a mischievous trickster on any day of the week. It's this level of overwhelming confidence and charisma of a woman who has no hesitation firing off comebacks that makes her the most entertaining heroine out of the cast, whether it's in the common route, the occupational events, or her actual romance route. Now, despite her annoying, irritating, and tormenting side to her, it's only a single facet of her hidden personality. With everyone assuming her high-class status, everyone neglects to connect with her on a personal level. That is, her desperate, socially lonely, and hopelessly in self-denial otaku side to her. It's a case where her perceived status makes it difficult for Kaname to relax around others, and it's only through her interactions with Kazuki that she's able to discuss her anime hobbies and her infatuation for cute things. An instance of Gatmoe where her contrast makes her more appealing as a heroine, if her devilish side wasn't enough to convince you. Because she's definitely the type of person who would proclaim herself to be the best girl, no doubt about it.
ここにいたわ。
As for the production, it's very expressive, shining in bright, vivid backgrounds. With this title in particular, Sugar Style likes to move its character sprites around, having them pop into frame in anger, moving them close up to retort back, or fade out in the background out of regret. This also includes vigorously shaking the text box at every moment. For the music, it definitely plays up the extra nature of the visual novel scenarios and its accompanying moods. Out of all the tracks though, the one that stands out the most is Chase the Burning Light, probably its most meaningful sounding song in its library. However, what's notable about its music is not the soundtrack, but the deliberate usage of its sound effects. Sugar Style is very assertive with them, putting them at the end of every punchline, adding more impact to the joke, cow noises included. It's absurdly extra, but lovingly done. Basically Smee in a nutshell. Sugar Style is a high-energy romantic comedy set in a university setting. While wacky and crazy in its immature humor and jokes, it can still land sweet romance stories. The comedy is what the developers are known for, and Sugar Style does not disappoint. That said, its style of comedy may not be suited for people, and that's completely understandable. One can only take so many horny protagonist jokes and accidental bat scene visits at once. But overall, it's another good title in SME's library, where if you can get accustomed to the characters and comedy, you'll have an entertaining time watching these college students stumble their way through life and romance. I give Sugar Style a 3 out of 5. If you enjoyed Sugar Style and are interested in SME's other works, I would recommend Fureraba, Friend to Lover, and Making Lovers. I recommend Fureraba for a more fundamental high school romance, and Making Lovers for its focus on romances in an adult life setting. If you are interested, I have reviews of those 2 visual novels in the description down below. And as always, subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more. Check back every week for new content. Check out some of my other anime visual novel reviews on my channel if you are interested. That's it for today. I'll see you all next time.